Walker deny that I was raising money left and right to feed him. Have you heard him deny it? He will never deny it because he knows this to be true.
Some of you thought I was never going to create families of Waka. Yeah. Because I went to counties. I'm not criticizing because I want to criticize. I'm criticizing because we said yesterday, former president, we have a right private jet. But the Joseph Waka at brought to power is riding private jet from here to go to Rufana. Yeah. But I will speak because people in Saturday saw me when I was passing to go on my convoy. Spend my own money to bring him to power because we thought the wrong yesterday was going to be right today. Yeah. I had no regret to vote against former President Weah. But the people that are brought to power will regret why I have to vote for them in campaign. This country is a better place and will be a better place. Yes, sir. Because there's money in the country that we can live for. We don't need money from outside. So, but we don't want to empower people here. We say that our lawmakers, we have become lawbreakers. We have become criminals. We put all the money in the budget for ourselves and leave them out. I want to challenge some of your lawmakers. Some people say they want this senator. They're breaking all the law. The law you make breaking the law, but you want to go up. You know why people want to go out? Because they want to increase the time. They say they're too short.
They give army and say, I gave your son 2 hours to leave. And he didn't even flinch for a second to say, who gave me the authority to say this thing? What I'm saying here, I know I have people who listen to. He called himself a former child killer, a man who had been changed, Joshua Bly now, but he knew what General Bondeke. He got up, went on social media, and decided upon himself to threaten the Guinean army and say, I gave your son 2 hours to leave. And he didn't even flinch for a second to say, who gave me the authority? He called himself a former child killer, a man who had been changed, Joshua Bly now, but he knew what General Bondeke. He got up, went on social media, and decided upon himself to threaten the Guinean army and say, I gave your son 2 hours to leave. And he didn't even flinch for a second to say, who gave me the authority to say this thing? What I'm saying here, I know I have people who listen to me, and I know I have a very dangerous past in this country. And here I am speaking, and not a single government institution in the country even came out to say, you know what? This guy they call General Bondeke is one of a very, very dangerous man in the history of the country. And we want to let the Liberian people know, and the Guineans within our border and in Guinea, that Mr. Joshua Bly is not speaking on behalf of the Liberian government. And we are going to call Mr. Joshua Bly why he made that statement. Because he's pinning our country against the Guineans. Nobody from the government saying anything. Because Joshua Bly feeder, Bondeke feeder, Poga is nothing. He had gone into his psychological second state of mind. Joshua Bly thinks that he in a war now again. He thinks this is April 6th. He thinks Liberia has become a chaotic country now. So his second conscience, it had now become his primary conscience. And then his primary conscience of goodwill had gone into his secondary conscience. The kind of flip side. So he just get up and speak loosely. We gave up people saying
these guys are good at talking. You know, they say empty drum makes the most noise. When they talk, you think they have some substance. When they present a document, it's so empty. You see nothing. And under the Unity Party governance, the country appeared to be a hopeless infrastructure. These guys are good at talking. You know, they say empty drum makes the most noise. When they talk, you think they have some substance. When they present a document, it's so empty. You see nothing. And under the Unity Party governance, the country appeared to be a hopeless infrastructure. These guys are good at talking. You know, they say empty drum makes the most noise. When they talk, you...
The issue is, the program from 2017 to come we take part in the program, and we accept it because of why? Because they don't want to talk to us. They say, oh, everything will be almost about close to 700 human beings that come from that side. But what food I get here, I want more as I'm speaking to you, the whole thing. This is our children that brought up. This is our family that brought up. Food, sir, we bring our more water, sir, we drink. What was the arrangement, or how did he get here? You don't know. They sell.
What did they promise you?
No, they sell food on the ground. They sell food
Did you
on
eat?
the ground. No.
Did you drink?
No. As a name, no. Some within this money, we put anything in our mouth. Now we're working them. The budget is 17. Nothing getting any money more. No food, we're not getting our mouth. So we're trying to test. I just said I would thank you for the frustration that you gave us. That's all I get to say.
So do you see the PAP as a 419 party?
I look at the party, well, my brother, 419, they carry so many ways. When I say, well, as I look at the party, they look there, they are reckless. They kill the food and they bring people. They're not ready. Because in the case will be good for you, you're not going to eat. You understand me? Okay,
but why are you leading your whole delegation from District 17 to boycott the voting process? Don't you think it's good that you participate in the voting process?
No.
Why are you not participating in the voting process?
Because of the disappointment and the frustration that we left on the ground. Now send this money we came. Up to now, we are not drink water, we are not eat here. Up to now, and we're going back.
Do you say we are a member of the PAP?
I said, they cannot happen. They can happen unless I just can come to our district, will come to us. But we're going out with frustration and tears in our heart.
Okay. So,
as I'm telling you now, even from our brothers and the women,
when they welcome me, they say they were freedom fighters. When they welcome me, they say they were liberators. But when they keep their crown, they change their mind. When they keep their crown, they change their mind. They are freedom fighters. What kind of people do? They are freedom fighters. Killing our women. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you killing our children. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you destroying our country. They are freedom fighters. Ayo, 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 ayo. Jena wamanya beaba, wamanya benyagate, wamo freedom fighter. Jena seto. Jena wamanya benya, wamanya beaba. One more freedom fighter, they just said.
Oh yes, indeed. What a great day. And what a beautiful Monday morning it is from the nation's capital in Monrovia. What a pleasant way we'd like to welcome all of you folks to this a very exciting edition of the nation's premier breakfast platform, the Freedom Morning Rise on Freedom 87.9. And so, yes, indeed. As always, this is where we discuss the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development. Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, just wherever you are this morning on our voice. A pleasant good morning to our friends, our followers, and to those of you in the diaspora. It's always a good thing to have you join us. There are too many things to talk about, lots of things happening in Liberia. And of course, this is where you get the analysis of those issues without fear nor favor. It was a very busy and, of course, eventful weekend. And we are back. It's good to be back behind these microphones. What's the menu? Like we promised, and of course, we've been digging deeper into our situation. Into a situation happening there at the Liberia Airport Authority. And of course, our intelligence arm has revealed some very disturbing realities, and of course something that gives us the clue as to exactly what is happening there and why some of what is happening. You know, it all started with the bull of the Liberia Airport Authority, writing a very long letter with a list of grievances, accusations, and of course allegations against the managing director of the airport authority. And of course the managing director has since responded, but just before his response, he thought to take a leave of absence to allow himself concentrate on the investigation process, which was a good one. And of course, we held some discussions around that. And we became concerned as to why, based on the gravity of the allegations, that the president needed to take even more tougher actions. But again, a deeper review of exactly what is transpiring at the airport has begun showing some new realities, new signals and all that. This is something that has to go way deeper. And of course, right here, we have the copy of we've managed to obtain copy of the MD's response, direct response to these allegations. Some of what he believes as particularly the board chair's deliberate desire to resist change and reform, and of course have himself as the de facto administrative leader of the entity, something he believes is contrary to the acts and of course best professional administrative practices. And this is exactly where, according to sources, the issues has been. And how do we get in between there to resolve or mitigate these things? At the same time, there are one-time allegations and of course signals of corruptions and desire to siphon resources belonging to the people of Liberia, and of course for the full and effective running of the Liberia Airport Authority, the Roberts International Airport, so to speak. So this morning we're going to be going deeper into that. And of course, this other one from Bentor City, the Unity Party Auxiliary, the People Action Party. From all indication, it appears to be a clearly established a political movement for the sole purpose of providing some political upper hand for the ruling establishment. And of course, this is Senator Sir Joseph's party. In keeping with NEC regulation, they conducted their very first General Congress to elect officials of the party. That which was done over the weekend, and a last report. It will interest you to know that most of the very compelling positions in the party were uncontested and won on wet ballot. A very few of them were contested for. Very few of them were contested for. The rest were won on wet ballot, inclusive of the political leader.
Freedom fighter, you destroy our country.
The chairman, the assistant secretary general, the secretary general of the PAP, they all won on web ballot. A vast majority of the county chairpersons also won on web ballot, signaling the lack of desire in most of the partisans to compete, or like some will call it, a stage managed convention in which the outcome were detected, and exactly what came out. Sir Joseph became the political leader as expected. Well, at least one will expect that there will be some level of democracy and, of course, competition. But that wasn't the case over the weekend with the PAP. Something I like to call the ruling party auxiliary, an establishment purposefully brought into existence to give some political upper hand and leverage to the ruling party. As the political leader of the PAP has time without number indicated that he is only a viable man. He is only a man who is supposed to contest for president when President Bouaka is not contesting. But once President Bouaka is contesting, it will take all the human beings from his PAP and dump them to President Bouaka's side. That is to tell you how serious this whole PAP thing is. So it is a temporary political party. Their purpose is hanging. Their purpose is determined by what happened with the ruling party, what happened with President Bouaka. So yeah, it is a kind of swinging pendulum political party established, and they're just swinging between there. When Bouaka go, okay, then it is non-existent, not important. Oh yeah, that's what the guy said. But this is Sir Joseph. We listened to remarks made by him upon the Congress in Bentor. There are also very sweeping and disturbing allegations in the media about this very political leader of the People Action Party. As he remains in the center of land grab accusation, particularly in the Johnsonville area there, versus the Gray family. And we have all of the documentation here. It's important as we run over some of the activity of his political party. It will also be a perfect opportunity to remind him about going back to doing the right thing. Nobody should mind because of their political power to fall down over anybody and grab their land and sit down over it when they could have already established the legitimate ownership of the Gray family. Why is the PAP political leader dodging the actual process and refusing to rebar and then carry on massive construction on the very same disputed property? Are all of some of the things we're going to look at here this morning. And of course, what is happening in the social space of our country over the weekend. We witnessed what many will call a cultural shock as a young Liberian lady seemingly took up the responsibility of marrying her man. And this has caused some stir within the social space of the country, as she has received a lot of commendation and praises from Liberian men. As a lot of them are indicating that this should be the new normal, that women, young ladies interested in settling down must begin the process of governing resources, buying land, building houses, building house, buying car, and spraying money on their husbands to be. The shifting rules. But what is most intriguing about that is the fact that national leaders have abandoned the most dire and, of course, concerning national happenings to running behind these social issues. Liberia remains under attack, so to speak. The Guinean army, even now as we're speaking, still remain posted on Liberian soil. And I saw a senior member and senior official of the Bouaka administration, and of course some member of the Liberian Senate, and even the presidential spokesperson, all ignoring it. And they are going to Grand Cayman County. They're throwing party as if to say everything is normal. Is it normal for Guinea to invade Liberia now? Has the government resolved on that point? Because they're all throwing party. The vice president was in Cape Town over the weekend. They're having the Gbassa Jamba festival, while Guinean flags are hoisted on Liberian soil, and the government care less, shows zero interest This is the shape and size of the conversation for you. My name is Abu Sharif. And of course, it's good to have you join us this morning for these and other issues making news in Liberia. And of course, welcome. Let's take a batch of our theme song. And of course, once we come back, we rumble through the issues right here on the big station, Freedom 87.9, the People's Radio.
I'm a freedom fighter. For freedom fighter, get in your job, your pastor. For freedom fighter, get in your to be your papa. For freedom fighter, get in your people on the ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, 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 ayo. Music.
Okay, and we accepted because of why? Because they went over to talk to us. They said, oh, yeah, we want to go free everything there till we become about some end of the ground door. Almost about close to 700 human beings that come from that side. But once we don't get here, one more after I'm speaking to you, the whole thing. This is our children that brought up. This is our family that brought up. Food said we bring our more water said we drink. The one will bring our own.
What was the arrangement, or how did he get here?
We don't know. They said,
What did they promise you?
they sell food on the ground. They sell food
Did you
on
eat?
the ground. No,
Did you drink?
no. As a man, no. Some we think there's money. We put anything in our mouth. Now our whole thing is the whole thing is 17. Nothing getting any money month. No food, water getting in our mouth. So we trying to test. I just said I would thank you for the frustration that you gave us. That's all I get to say.
So do you see the PAP as a 419 party?
I look at the party. Well, my brother, 419, they carry so many ways.
Oh my God, folks, welcome back. And I like the but why should the journalist pull that phone out inside, right? Must you, right? The guy's already hungry. Do you see the PAP as a 419 party? I mean, what 419 means? I mean, an establishment meant to deceive, and without any genuine purpose, but the overriding objective is to just deceive and dominate people. So basically, that's what delegates of the PAP convention started describing the movement as, particularly when they went in the community, and start to recruit people on false promises, right? And I see my good friend Julius J made a post that for food business to become the order of the day, at a national political event like that means we have a lot of work to do. I will agree with you partly to an extent, and I also believe that it is also revealing of a reality that exists that many have been ignoring and pretending as if to say everything is okay. And especially for those we saw, right, vehemently advocating and projecting this very mission as a mission to redeem and ensure that some of what wearing existing in our country will happen. It is absolutely it is a shame on a part of them. But today, a lot of them who were the mujahideen of the rescue mission, right, are acting as if to say the concerns and complaints of our people, right, really don't matter. They're having regular times. They are going from parties to parties. They're making fun and mockery out of the people after bringing uselessness to them. That's exactly what they are doing, right? You see them, they are doing different things. They're on social media. They're using their social media to be writing nonsense and ignoring the emergencies in the country. The hardship. You will not hear them talk about the gap press. You will not hear them talk about the issues that are confronting our people with transportation, cabmen, and passengers are fighting and quarreling daily. The police brutality. You wouldn't hear them speaking to it, but they are leaders. The shame and disgrace at the border, you wouldn't hear them saying anything, but go on their social media handles. Senior government officials, senators, people who you expect, right, to be asking the hard question, checkmating. And one such person is Senator Amara Kone. I am extremely disappointed. And of course, I'm going to call him after the show. I'm extremely disappointed that in the height of everything that's happening now, it has to be a moment where leaders of his caliber, right, will be most likely making mockery out of the people, since they have a 9 years job and we don't have. They have a guaranteed salary we don't have. They have a guaranteed welfare, transportation allowance, scratch card allowance, core, right, fuel allowance, and everything we don't have. So it's okay. No problem what's going on in the country. Guinea can come and hoist their flag any part of Liberia they want to, right? The citizens could be out of their home. They can be out of their home for months. Right? 13 villages have emptied, right? And then you have lawmakers. What real actions, what hard questions have they asked? Zero. What they do, they sit on social media. If the men are posting issue about training in gym, as if to say that normal thing we're going through. This is the height of abandonment and neglect. What is the truth that we can say? But tomorrow, when it's election time, the very same people will come to be the moral voices to tell the country where to go, what to do. When they lead you into mess and then you give them a job assurance and all that, then they start to ignore and, of course, downplay the most hurting realities on the ground. Because all they care, right, was to remove Mr. Weah. That's all. For them, that is like what only problem. You can go to bed without hunger. Listen to this grown-up man. And about 70 of his peers, right? Simply telling you that the reason they were recruited to go and attend a political party rally because they were a show of food, say a lot of food will be there, a lot of water will be there, enjoyment will be there. So that is to tell you that that man and the host of them are sitting in abject hunger, and that to be assured that food will be somewhere, they are willing to go there to take away and take it for their family. Isn't that the reality? That is the fight. People are hungry. They're looking for food. People are not attending political rallies because they believe in some sort of a manifesto or the individuals. For example, is the individual even anybody to believe in? He himself has what? Has downplayed and looked down on himself. Sir Joseph, as a man, does not even have faith in himself as a presidential material. He is my friend, but I am going to say this to him. Sir Joseph himself, it is an absolute slap in the face of any sound human being to still be considering and following Sir Joseph. Absolutely not. The man who does not even believe in himself. For the mere fact that this man at this point will be telling you that, oh, you see me, the whole presidency thing, the only time I am sound, I guess, sense to be president, I come near and trying to want to be president is on Baka say you're not running. But on Baka say you're running, all the things are putting together, everything will just stay so. Then I see people, but anyway, they were truck in boss. They were truck in boss to the place. But that's besides the point. One will understand, one will say, oh, trying to provide transportation because it's outside and, it's all the way there in Bentel, trying to help people with transportation to commute, blah, 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 and all that. But not only that was done, people will also show food, that will give you food, come for the convention, will give you water, will give you transportation. So assuming that was not available, the people, they wouldn't have gone there. They wouldn't have gone there. So, Sir Joseph, from the beginning to the middle to the end, is an unserious man. Very unserious. I mean, for God's sake, the man himself declared himself unserious. The man said to all of us that The only time he will contest is when the other man not contest. So that means the man is right. The man is what? Subservient to the whims and caprice of another political party owner, political leader. Eh? This is a classic definition of what they call helping verb. So when the man can stand on your own, then we'll go with helping. That is nonsense. Is that how Liberia is supposed to pursue change? Is that how Liberia is supposed to pursue emancipation from economic paralysis? Is that the way it is supposed to happen? I said no. So these kinds of misguided elements confusing the political space must be condemned, and of course, they must be discouraged, and our people must resist them. See what happened. Complete shame and embarrassment. No political party formation has begun on this. Because you know what? God is not sleeping. The intent, like the journalist said, a 419 organization intended squarely to deceive the people, while, of course, protecting the actual intent. The intent is to ferment this rocket establishment that have derailed its purpose, and of course is leading the country into complete mess on a daily basis across every angle. Look at the economy. Imagine the height of irresponsibility on the part of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning honor a guy who has been hyped to be some sort of a financial messiah in Liberia, Gaffwan, right? A liar, a guy who lies for a living, a blatant, terrible, disgraced liar, right? This man, when he came, in fact, along with the CSA man, they said they were what? Introducing bi-monthly payment, a salary payment scheme, by which, in fact, civil servants, you shouldn't worry. We have the capacity, the know-how. We'll start paying you after every 2 weeks. 2 weeks will pay you. Then before the month end, then we'll pay you again. Person say, oh yeah, they may not know what they can do. Has that materialized? Zero. They make him, he promised government workers that as of the 25th, right, you receive your payment. Did that materialize? Zero. This man came, he said, by February of 2025, no civil servant, nobody working in government will make less than $150. Is that true? No. Gaffwan is a big, horrible, disgraced liar. That's who he is. For those of you who can bootleg him and go there to be begging for handout, you can consider him as whatever. But for me, I think it's a zero man, a big trouser wearing deceiver. That's who he is. You see him wear the big oversized wheelbarrow coat. You think he's some kind of serious and committed or something genuine man. He's not. He's a terrible undercover state looter. That's exactly who he is. How you come lying to the country, right? Pay the people money. Since February, you can't pay the people, right? You can't pay the people, and then you lying on a commercial bank. This is a terrible financial, business relations. But the GT Bank people have their public relation people that's supposed to talk for them. So I'm not going to do something people taking pay for or taking money for that. It's not going to be my business to do it. But I think it was outrightly irresponsible, right, for the government of Liberia, no matter what, right, to begin to hold press conference and throw financial institution under the boss, thereby, right, inviting some degree of panic, withdrawal, and undermining the business. Then we begin to investigate why would the government choose to do that. But it's up to the GT Bank to deal with it the way they want to deal with it. But in a nutshell, this is what Sir Joseph wants to remain, where they will not pay you, and they will come and lie to you, say, oh, that a bank. The bank issue statement, the bank say it is an absolute lie. In order for the bank to begin debiting employees' account, right, the Ministry of Finance and other relevant agencies will have to clear and approve the payment. And before they do that, The money got to be there. You don't send the money. You don't clear the money. Nothing. Then you go, you send message to the employee, say, oh, we finished doing our own. Then you go check in the bank, no money there. Then you put a ban under the boss. Embarrass the people business. Then we having serious matter like that, so then causing 419 distraction. And for me, we've told you all, look, what we are going through, we know what we are going through in this country. Do you know what it means to exist in a country where the nation gets extremely divided and certain people in government believes that, right, only them are supposed to benefit from whatever in the country, and they ostracize the vast majority, and somebody think that is a normal thing to live in, right? We will resist and continue to expose this government and make sure that it comes down, and all these nonsense idiots are seeing themselves as some sort of demagogues. The time will come that they will sit down and they will go on their knees begging. It's just a matter of time. It will happen to you. You have the opportunity to lead a country. You say, no, you're not leading a country. You will select a few people. And you have nonsense element within the scene system themselves too, trying to purge other people and, of course, undermine professionals because they think they are more partisan. Should we be running the country on partisanship? Then you have a waste of time. Man calling himself, oh, PAP. What kind of PAP? That PAP time, you collect people and carry them for nonsense. You even get water to give them. Eh? You won't be. Who tell you that the man won't be president? The major won't disrupt. Who told you say the man won't be president? Eh? Let the mayor. These are the documents from the Gray family. Since when? Since 2023 June up to present, right? And of course, the eviction order was issued in April 19, 2024. But by this time, right, the PAP political leader have already pledged allegiance. These are some of the reasons he pledged allegiance to the Joseph Boakai regime and even established a political party, because they have built on people's land. They don't want to leave it. So they want to be closer to power all the time while the poor people are crying out. Here is it. This is the court's communication to the Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman to do what? To go and effect this eviction of Sir Joseph and others from a land that does not belong to them, from a land that they have not. But guess what? This is the same property that Sir is building vocational school on to use to in campaign. What is that? Here is the court. The court ruling. Has Sir go and build a gigantic multi-million-dollar structure on the land that does not belong to him, that he has not duly and legally paid for. We had the people here, and I've been calling him since. He has refused to pick the call. Right? So why is Sir refusing? It was a 9-man jury that ruled in favor of the Gray family on the Johnsonville Nimba United Community land that Sir Joseph has his I know polytechnic or what kind of technic, a PAP school. This is absolutely unacceptable. Leaders are supposed to be fair, right? When you have this man, they've gone through everything they can. They have spent every resources they have because they do not have power. And of course, the president of the Republic of Liberia is aiding and abetting Sir in these illegal pursuit, providing the necessary covers. Because if the court has instructed the police to go ahead and effect the eviction of SAR and other people. And most of the guys who are holding on to this place, they are holding on to it because of the assurances that SAR has given them. Because mind you, Legray and the other explained to us, and the last time they appeared here, right? SAR was the one who, based on his position as senator of the county, who intervened and halted and delayed the eviction on the first time. And ever since he did that, he has never reached out. Even families that are willing to go and negotiate and renegotiate with the Gray family are now reluctant to do so because of some degree of assurance that SAR has given them. So can we find the best of the best in our country to be leaders, exploiters, and people who are stepping on us and abusing our rights, taking our properties, should be the ones? You keep the people in poverty, you keep the people in hunger, and then you use them. That's exactly what they do. Right? You use the people. You keep them hungry. And then you believe that you can use this ill-gotten wealth, these very monies that you have accrued out of deceiving and manipulating the very system that should work for the Liberian people, right? After giving you political power, occupying political offices, where the private people should go and have opportunities, you collect all these opportunities. When companies come to the country that's supposed to be a window of business opportunity for ordinary Liberians, you the same EAO senators go back there, you will buy truck, you will buy yellow machine, right? You will buy Tengo and give it to the people. Go to Asilometer, you there. Bosses, you put it there. Can an ordinary Limbayan who is not in politics, just a businessman, be allowed that opportunity to buy buses and give it to Asilometer, and then wealth is distributed across? No. But people use their power as senator. They are the one that will supply Asilometer with bus. They are the same people that will supply Asilometer with dump truck. They are the same people that will supply Asilometer with yellow machine. They are the same people that will supply Asilometer with tanker truck. Then what the ordinary people will do, then they come to Monrovia, they say they can organize political party. Then they are supposed to be taken seriously, right? What is the source of their wealth? Exploitation, right? Strangulations, denial of the ordinary people, the very opportunity and privilege that they should enjoy, abusing their political power, right, at the detriment of the people. And then they come back and say there's some sort of messiah, simply because they want to use that, like the reporter or the journalist act, a 419 arrangement, a 419 political party gets established with a cover and, of course, covert intent to deceive and, of course, fool the Liberian people. Do not waste your time behind these people. You see, their first convention they say fool, no fool. First convention, no competition, because it was programmed and staged to come with the same result, and that the same result it came with. Kokolo Baba, he left from there, he came back, said, no, it is not a serious movement. It is not a movement interested in the people. It is not a movement interested in preferring an alternative. It is a movement established to support the spoil. So if that is the case, let me stay with my side. This should have been an alternative movement. But no, it is not that, right? The clear goal and intent is to continue to support, right, and protect the political leverage of one man. Should we take that man seriously? No. At the detriment of our future? Absolutely no. So SAR must be rejected, and SAR must open an apology for collecting our people and taking them on force and 419 premises without food. It may look funny to you, But it's serious. And the government must take responsibility. Sir, it's organizing a political party to support a government and a president who has failed to provide food for his people. To the extent his people are hungry and they attend his own political party and they're crying that they did not get food from there. So you see how the argument is defeated on arrival? Right there. You want to support, right, a system that has failed in providing the bare minimum feeding for its people. But let's hear your reaction. What are these? Are these all calculated distraction? Should we be carried away, fellow Liberians? Right? What do you think about Sir Joseph forming a political party in the midst of the challenges and issues that we have? How effectively is Sir even using his oversight as a senator? When is the last critical issue in the country that you heard Sir voice on? Which one? Is it a demolition? Is it in 2024 when flooding was taking over? Right? Is it sometime in the end of 2024 to 2025 when fire disaster was sweeping across the country? Where have you heard Sir speaking? Have you heard Sir on the killings in Kinjor? What prepares Sir for anything near presidency or organizing a political movement? How effectively has Sir utilized his role, right, as a senator of Montserrado County? Where, right? All the disaster that has happened in the county, right? The constraints that the people continue to talk about. Even the blind people that were complaining, right? Has ever used his office as senator of Montserrado to invite, right? To invite the Commission on People Living with Disability to seek and to intervene? Sir doesn't, because when he do that, he'll be critical on the government, and he does not want to be critical on the government. Let's hear you. Sir, is a challenge to you. What about the demolition exercise? What have Sir ever done about that? Where? School fees, transportation, the APRC increasing prices, the LTM usurping the function of the Ministry of Transport. Where is Sir Joseph? But today, Sir T, he forming PAP, he won't be president. What do you think? This is your country. You got to speak to the people, because they take us to be fool. They take you to be fool. You, the electors, they take you to be fool. And that's why, after you get 9 years, they make mockery out of you. They take you to be unserious. You're in the street in the sun. You're raising concerns while they're in gym. They're doing Facebook memes. They're throwing parties. They're going for Gbasajama. They're throwing BB birthday parties when the land in Foya is being invaded. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call. At 9 o'clock, of course, we go and have our main conversation. But let's hear your thought on these. What is the GT Bank and the Ministry of Finance? Who can we hold responsible in that whole GT Bank salary delay? The Ministry of Finance, who should civil servants hold responsible? Do you think the response from the Ministry of Finance make any sense? I do not believe so. How do you take away your responsibility and throw it on a private bank when you are the one who's supposed to be paying the people? The government, you said you were better than, never did that. They took responsibility for everything that was happening under their watch. But today, you don't want to take responsibility because you're so very useless. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call. And let's hear you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Go ahead. You're live. What's your name? Mm-hmm.
and the advisor for Youth Alliance for Responsible Governance.
Go ahead.
Also say a project to make sure that the 14 additional creation of district be canceled. Okay, let me get you my point. I mean, on this topic. You see, my brother, in Liberia, people was zero. All those guys, Sir Joseph, Thomas Fala, and the rest, and the speaker, and the rest of the guys that went to Lofa to pay for oil. Like when people start telling them, the more we can look at it, that the more we eat that money, that the more we put their property. If a leave of you must walk on it. We'll fuck all of you out in 2049. All of them will say that. Because the people not see what they feel.
But the people say they're holding together, that what they're forming party to make sure that they remain there.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? They say they get it all being said. 2029, my brother, beginning 2027, 2028, moving forward, will be very aggressive. And then no violence and no protest. They will see us. They will tell them that we got sense. They are not the only person that's supposed to be represented. They all senator. Those are fools. You use or then you don't walk on the side. Or they just side and that's all like you are not going to say that said they are not come to that senses.
Then they're making fun out of the Liberian people. Who are these people? Good morning. Morning. What kind of nonsense here? The country under attack. Then Vice President showing party, right? Then Sir Joseph calling people and getting them food. Let's hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend. Okay, change your location. You call back. Good morning.
Morning, Abu.
Morning.
I call you from PHP resident this morning. To the issue, people that start Joseph in the country, even if we decide to come out and run for representative, he can never win representative in this country. So, for he going and opening a political party, he's making fun of himself. That Joseph is not a serious person in this country, and we know that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Morning. Morning, you're live. You got to move away from your monitor. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers. Let's hear you. How do you react? Good morning.
Yeah, Abu, this is Brown Daddy from Monrovia.
Go ahead, Brown.
Yeah, let me thank you so much for your discussion this morning and those issues that you raised. But let me go straight to Honorable Joseph, Senator Joseph. You know that when he came from abroad, when they hosted that program at the Capitol building, where he said he had an salary, he promised that he was going to deposit $10,000 in the people's account. In fact, immediately they should establish the account, and that the query will be, I'm going to say 5% or 3%, something like that. Up to that time, it went to 1 year now. That has not gone in our account. I got my friend there with him. Anytime
so they're making y'all go around making BB promises, but then after the cameras are off, it doesn't deliver on them.
Why you tell the people to Bento? If you're not prepared for anything, I mean, you're still embarrassing people. You're still embarrassing the hell way.
Then they promise the people that they have food there, the people could carry take away home, but the people when there no food, no water, nothing.
I say, Abu.
It was not for food, Beno. The people were concerned about lying to them, not just about food. And all of you trying to make it like food, no. But the fact that you can't tell people something and they go there, then you're making fun of it. These are family hairs. You can't do that to people.
And the message from America said, you even know what to do. America, where you got land of milk and honey. That's where you come from. You can't follow 400 men. How are you talking? I follow that whole program. They were just talking all kind of things. Thank you, man. Thank you to exposing some of those people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll do that. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Abu. I'm Abby Johnson calling from Togo, the chairperson for the Concern Librarian for Justice. You see, what's happening in the country, people can overlook it. If the Minister of Finance is inability to lead to govern our ministry. That's why you only talking about open prayer for the ministry. So if he's not able to pay the people, or if he's lying on the, he checking also the man is lying on the bank. Because if you send money to the bank to be able to pay people, the bank will pay people. So when something happens with people with salary, you don't share the bank.
So then the question is, how can they see bank that are paying people from January 2024 up to now, but that today they both decide to hold the money, they say they ain't paying the people? Does that thing make sense?
So why they never send money there? You know, you can say empty check to people for money now on the check, you know that one. They think that the person will be stupid to take the money to give it. When you know that check is there, nothing on it. So you can tell the message, go pay people will give you the money. And the man knows that when you do that, his business will run down. So the man will not pay. Everybody will do deal for pay the people, and then we'll give you the money later. They put a lot of people. They put a lot of people, so they continue to be lying.
So you think Gafon is lying on the bank?
Gafon is lying on the bank.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, I put a conclude. I put a conclude.
Conclude on what thing again, my man? I thought you made your point.
No, I forgot to interrupt the process.
Yeah, but they learn too basic. Plenty people won't come when you call you tell your own. You send other people go to. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. We ain't get a luxury to be taking one call or two times. Go ahead. Chicken Zoo Factory. How far is Chicken Zoo Factory road?
That road, but just forget about it. They are still on that road. In fact, the embarrassment it cost for all, they can't open your cover that they said the entire community are cracking into it. And nobody is taking leadership to look after that road. But my issue I cover is about Sir Joseph. During the campaign, Sir Joseph came to you, party a promise a group of women, place them together, make the women to buy chairs and other things, and say they organize and say, you are going to place 600,000 in their account.
Now who did that against Sir Joseph?
Sir Joseph, of course.
In Chicken Zoo Factory.
In Chicken Zoo Factory, he told the women, say, organize and say, rent office. The poor rented our office, the bond chairs, the other thing, the poor started taxing themselves. Sir Joseph said, you're going to put 600,000 in their account. Look, my brother. Sir Joseph can just go places, he make big promises. He will just, when you hear that man on air, you say, man on fire, he's better doing it for the whole country, but on the contrary, it's a big deceit that Sir Joseph can be carried on. And Sir Joseph think that he will keep fooling out people around.
So the whole party thing in Asta, you think it's looking serious?
How you call that type of thing a serious political party? Look, let me tell you, people know Sir Joseph rhetoric. Except for those who are not smart, who are not interacting with him. But if you are very smart with Sir Joseph and interact with him, you will know who Sir Joseph is. Sir Joseph can just be playing rhetoric. But if people want to show that he's somebody that really doing it for the people, I say you promise those women, you are going to put 600,000 in the poor account.
And I won't kiss you with me. He here on level that out.
Oh, of course, I community because I found a place. Now see our role, and you're talking the role is palace.
Okay, thank you very much. But the rainy season coming, you're way small. This is income good. Morning.
Yeah, morning, Abu Shari.
Morning. Good. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Mohammed K. Dugari Bacha, Protocol District number 2, most one part of the Bama District, most one county.
Go ahead. District number 2.
Going from the Jonesy Township. Yeah. Abu, sir, it's now somebody for to be discussing for now.
They say you're enjoying in Johnsonville there.
Well, that's what I think the Bama District. Well, you know the male gang of take up makeup. It wouldn't mean that all will be a representative. He always going to put. So he want a record.
Okay, let's talk about Sir Joseph. Sir Joseph said he won't be president.
See, sir, we don't have to get started. I can't get even me. I get me.
No, leader won't buy that. Then you be here with the debate and forget about Sarah win election. You win community election. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning.
My name is Mark Fisher calling from the Virgin District.
Virgin Speaker District.
Virgin Speaker District.
Okay, the Billboard Speaker.
The Billboard Speaker. Yeah, Abu, my daughter is in Sir Joseph School. The food the children they told the children they were going on trip.
Oh, the food there. So even the student, or they can be fooling the student, or so much material.
The students, as I'm speaking, my daughter in Sir Joseph School,
Yeah, but then sir, we got to call Saturday morning. They think you're getting too much. Mm-hmm.
She came. She said we're going on trip. So just carrying on the school carrying on trip. They sending up buses to go. We'll have dinner. We'll have lunch. Everything that how they told the children. And the children left. They went. That Saturday. I know Saturday or Friday they went. When they went, the children were there. The children were there. My daughter called me. Oh, mommy, they told we had no food since we came. No food. The children you can hear at you can hear at the back. No water, no food. The food we all just dash. Oh yeah, we said no what we here for. We get passing around hungry. Yeah. She started calling all the children at the back. They started calling.
So that means you are not surprised when you hear the delegate saying that no food, no water, because you already had the experience with your children in school.
Exactly. So they get she started.
So that means Sunday should be behind it. No food, no water being associated with Sir Joseph. In a program now. Yeah, organized carrying no food, no water. Something we gotta do. Some kind of spiritual investigation. Yeah. Anything possible. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to Freedom FM family and good morning to you, Deb Abu Sharif, the new sponsor AF Commanders. When we are discussing politicians or serious-minded people in our country, not unless Sir Joseph. Because me, I don't talk about Sir
Joseph. But the men are senator now. I will not discuss them. The men are senator.
Listen, for Tony, who says we have made him a representative up to now, nothing in there has done to the people. We not putting him there because of humanitarian exercise he did, Tony 14 labor. That's all.
Yeah, but that's something there too. What the men do now? And you say humanitarian exercise.
That just one aspect. When you have left that position as a humanitarian to come to the disco of politics, we were not even classified because it's a jack. It has no impact on me in our house of Senate. It has no impact in our house of representatives. You expect you want the common lawmaker. It's not us that.
Okay, thank you very much. No food, no water, political party on the spotlight. Let's hear you. Good morning. What do you think?
Good morning, okay.
Abu here.
Yes, sir. Abu, I say.
Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, this is Salia D. Bagre calling you from Guapolo County, sir.
Guapolo County.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You know what's going on in the country? It's a bad thing.
Okay.
Sir Joseph, even when Sir Joseph contest tomorrow, all the Kisi people will let him vote for him.
Okay.
And when the Kisi are in majority, you find out that Sir Joseph will win election. And when we win election, the majority will suffer it. So we are asking the electoral people to forget about those kind of vote. Don't say because you kiss me, I will vote for you. Vote for somebody that will benefit you and benefit your children and your foundation. So those are the things that's not wrong.
Okay, thank you very much. Fair enough. But they say all your Bible posts say all your problems solved because you're saying talking, you're being on Facebook, acting normal, doing all kind of things. So that means you don't get no issue.
Our problem not solved. We are facing problem yet. Now we are speaking to you. Bachigo will be hosting meeting with the citizens today. Bachigo are not doing the right thing for us. The MTA at the road and some with the Bronx government, they are not even there.
But all your two senators in Moria, they chilling, they doing regular thing, they going to gym, they having party, then nothing, they're not talking for you. They say you get everything you want.
The other senator, they call he allowed all during the campaign time. In my time here, he came here to have a mosque, the mosque, he said he was going to build a mosque. By the time he got in power, he had never come back here even to tell us.
But the man said the government doing everything for you now. They get your pipe on water, current there, everybody, all the children going to school, no problem there again. So because of the picture they put in on tomorrow.
Forget about the pipe on water. If you ever propose to say the pipe on water, even not active. I tell you. So flamboyancy.
So they abandon you.
They abandon us. I'm not gonna I'm surprised at him because he really came here. He did a lot of talking here. One of the things that damaging the country is talking. I'm not gonna win vote here with talking. When you win the vote, he said that if money when you win the election.
Okay, that one there, like your own setting there, you gotta look at it. Good morning. To feel like, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay. All European people, they are not good. They can lie.
No, I want you to generalize it. Let's deal with the individual. No, let's deal with the individual. It can't be everybody. We can't do that.
Okay, let's look at Sir Joseph.
That's why Joseph now work for all that he will know about. Who know about all the Lufen people.
But Joseph know that you want behind Baka with power. So one part two is only another party. So they have a 4 year people to follow, but to be to tomorrow. They're the people putting up there. 2 months from another party as senator. They have no coming in as senator, as president, and you can look at a position. When you do the first thing when you're senator, when you do first for the country you represent, for the whole country.
Okay.
There's people down there, hungry, crying, and they want to be president. So let's forget about that, man.
Okay, thank you very much, folks. We're about to conclude on this segment, but let's just chip in the Solomba situation, because this is what the government wants, and that's why you see they're throwing all kind of directionary things out there so that people get taken away from this Solomba thing. And we believe until the government can clearly tell us that they have ceded the Solomba land to Guinea, we still believe there is good reason for Liberians to keep pushing for the land, to keep asking the hard questions, and keep ensuring that our communities are restored. Our people are restored to their homes and their farmland and all of that. But from the look of things and what we're seeing within the leadership bracket of the country, it seems as though leadership is now really paying attention to the concerns there, right? It has been three to 4 weeks now since Guinea soldier people captured, so to speak, right? The Solomba borderland, and take up the deployment over there. And our government gave us lots of different assurances that they were going to mitigate the matter. And the president spoke that the movements along the borders were part of drawdown exercises. And it has been 3 to 4 weeks. We've seen no drawdown or, if you may, withdrawal of the Guineans. They stay there while Liberians are comfortably, Liberian security and border patrol officers are comfortably pushed further in to the Liberian side of it. So in the midst of all of that, to validate further that the government has actually reached a conclusion on this matter, but refusing to clearly tell the country what is it. We keep seeing senior officials of the government in the midst of this having parties as if to say this is normal period. So if an urgency, if the country is faced with urgency, and then you do not see certain degree of emergency on the faces and attitude of leaders, then what does that say to you, right? It says a lot. Now, it starts with the vice president in Ganta. In the midst of the border crisis, the vice president organized a gargantuan birthday celebration in Ganta City. Even though the aftermath of that party, politically, it did not occur too well for him, because he was let down and abandoned by hardcore elements and senior officials of the government from the Unity Party angle. Oh, okay, that is news for you. Let me just give you a gist of that. And the vice president celebration in Ganta was boycotted by hierarchies of the Unity Party, right? There are a lot of political reasons behind that, which we will tell you in subsequently. But of course, that did not go well with the vice president. And rumor has it that this is because among hardcore Unity partisans, they believe the vice president is building himself up for what elements in the cycle believe to be an inevitable takeover from Joseph Boakai, believing that possibilities and chances are that Mr. Boakai may not even end up to 2023, and that when he shall have taken over, he will get rid of all of the Unity Party people. So the guys are building a serious block against him. And this guy, Gaffon is the chief architect of that, to the point where Gaffon is recommending for the dismissal of some Nimbayans, senior Nimbayans in the Ministry of Finance. Oh, okay, oh, you're hearing this for the first time. Gaffon is orchestrating, if he has not, right? If he has not done already, he is preparing for the to recommend to the president to remove the deputy finance minister for fiscal, right? I call it Myers. In fact, they do not even see eye to eye. He bypasses the man, and the man too didn't get time for him. He's dealing with, I think, the deputy or whatever. So it's like that. The relationship is terrible. So the Nimba fragment within the ministry don't work in cohort with the minister proper, and the minister proper has designed a Lofa block. So there's a Lofa or Unity Party block versus a Nimba and the MDR block within the Ministry of Finance. So the vice president told that party in Nimba when crisis was at the border, when even rebels in Labrador were threatening to go there. This thing here has created a serious situation for our country. To the point now, because Guinea have intelligence sources, like I told you the other days, and we too have our intelligence sources. And sometimes intelligent people, they're working, they got to justify their work. So they'll be sending some intelligence. They'll be sending something. It's left with the authority there to filter them properly, right? And see what they can use, what they can build on. So as these developments are taking place and all of that, rebels are issuing ultimatum, they're challenging, and these are rebels supported by the government, right? It creates a picture as if to say the government is open to an armed insurgent living from Liberia to Guinea. That is a terrible and dangerous picture. And this is the reason why the government of Liberia needed to firmly condemn the action and attitude by these non-state elements and put them in check to signal, because we want peace here. We don't want anything, especially those who do not have the responsibility or the authority to speak on behalf of the state. Be talking loosely. You can have your sentiment, you can talk about your feelings and all that in any way that is unofficial. But when you start to go publicly, and of course with the media and the international media picking up on what you're saying, is terrible and it's dangerous for our country. It puts us on a high security alert. That's what it does. Imagine for the reckless attitude of rescue soldiers, rescue militias, the reckless utterances of these rescue militias in our country go on high security alert. When the country gets on high security alert, it discourages investors from coming to the country, right? So you can sit in a society and you have rebels, ex-combatants, and making utterances that will have a damning effect on the social and economic stability of the country. Already we have the Middle East crisis that's already having a toll, not as significant as one who try to make it to look, but it is having some degree of toll on our economy, right? And all of that. Then to have a risk of border instability adding to that, right? Because investor will be calculating between the level of stability. But if the fuel and intelligence makes them to feel that there is a potential for a cross-border crisis, then they will hold back. That is not good for our economy. We are already getting hard time in the country. So this is for those who are taking the country money as salaries and benefit to be pondering, thinking over, and arresting the matter. But if we can allow Bot Naked, right, a collaborator of the rescue government, to be jeopardizing the economic stability of our country, right, and giving him political protection, and not taking practical action that communicate to our counterparts that no, these utterances are not sanctioned, and of course, the government of Liberia remain vehement against these kinds of utterances that has the proclivity to create tension between our sisterly countries, right? Then that means we do not mean well as a country and a government. So something has to be done. So amid all of these, right, the senior officials of government that should be taking these kind of actions are rather ignoring the urgency and the emergency of our Ebola tension and having parties and celebrating normal, right? Over the weekend, hundreds, the same vice president again led an avalanche of senior government officials to Grand Cayman County for what? Celebration. So Lofa, Solomba, Foya people, you're on your own. The rest of us, we're on our own. Because if citizens get mobilized, right, unknowingly, to take any kind of action that threatens the presence of the Guinean people along that border, now that our soldiers, our government has seemingly abandoned the responsibility of doing what it can and communicating the urgency of what is happening at the border and towing parties in Monrovia and other parts of the country, right? These citizens that are denied their farmlands, their homes, and what have you, right? Nobody know what they will be, contemplating. Nobody know that. And this is why we have to keep the government feet to the fire to act responsibly and, of course, address the matter, in a way that resolves and assures that there is peace and tranquility. We're seeing nonsense attitude from those in power. So now, fellow Liberians, where are we? So Guinea not take the land officially and finally. So all we can say to those of you in Lofa is that you just have to remain peaceful, come and let it be. Find a way, come in war, find another family and be there. Look, go enter the bush, start new farm. It's hard, it's tough. But the people that are supposed to be acting for you, they're throwing parties, they're celebrating, they're drinking liquor, and they're doing all kinds of things in the country. They don't care. Nobody's talking about it. Check all their social media handles. You see what is happening there? And they're talking about how a woman supposed to be marrying men. That time, yeah, they border, they put out the land, right? Guinean flag. So we got two flags in the country: Guinean flag and Liberia flag in Liberia. And that is not even troubling to the government and its senior officials. Senators and representatives are not even having conversation about that. Senators whom the president went and had a briefing on the matter too, right? They all okay. They all silent. So we are on our own. This for me looks like the conclusion in the Solomba issue. This for me looks like the final decision of the rescue government. That Guinea will take that place and nobody can do anything. And that's about it. Right? What is the status of the investigation into the illegal mining? Senators should be demanding that instead of senators being on social media, right, and acting like everything is normal. They should be demanding accountability. They're not doing that. We have a rubber stamp legislature. We have a useless group of people there, right, leeching on the state and delivering zero in terms of results. But what do you think? 0776 104 104 0865 104. And then in 7 minutes, let's take your reaction on this. Right? Okay, let's take your reaction on this. 0776 104 104 0865 104. And then we can move and talk something else right here. This caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning once again, Abu. The name remains Pastor A.F. Kamal. Strictly to the point, the issue, the Solomon issue, government is not about those issues. These guys are very regular. How can you have...
Oh my God. You went off 0776 104 104 006 500 104. The numbers to call. Good morning.
Morning, Abu.
Morning.
Thank you very much. Abu, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call from my Popo Kono, down Coast Spoon Hill, Winter Community. Abu, thank you this morning. In my mind, Abu, you just said it all. President Boakai, he knows exactly what is happening in Lofa County. In my mind, President Boakai must tell the Liberian people about the crush of what is happening in Lofa. Who's carrying the drag to Makona River that had led Liberia to lose a territorial limit today? When we were
then the lawmaker will depending on her to be demanding and asking the hard question. They don't care. Go on social media, you see them acting normal, doing all kinds of things, making fool out of the Liberian people. So why are we paying them all the money? Let's say the executive want to abandon and compromise the thing. So why the lawmakers will be accomplice in that?
Thank you, Abu. Yes, we see quote-unquote lie talking about Spanish. We hear the quote-unquote lie talking about rubber stamp. But today, what we are seeing today is more than rubber stamp. Look, Abu, what the guys did to what the last days here, they were not sincere to us. The guys just indoctrinated evil and just jealousy in the minds of the people of Liberia under the canopy of advocacy to come and loot our country. The guys, they were not real to us. And today, we're seeing a difference. These guys will never see that because all of them are milking our country.
Okay.
They want to do
so that means Guinea tell the land now, right?
Guinea are taking the land.
Okay. Thank you very much. 0776 104 104 006 500 104 are the numbers to call. With all the parties that senior government officials are showing and things are going on in the country, it means finally everybody should take their half on the land. Take the land. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. The federal government to give Liberia land. Oh, good morning. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from the MTA, Jackson Temple.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the demarcation of Guinea between Guinea and the Bureau.
So what a demarcation? The demarcation says Solomba for Guinea?
No.
But Guinea stay there is almost one more now.
Behind the water.
But they're not behind the water. Yeah, but they're not behind Makona again. They're in from Makona. They have been in from they have been but they have been in from Makona. The government says okay, and they haven't party. They're doing Basajama party.
Yeah, but they want to say so. They take the demarcation. They see they keep behind to Tunisia. You see, they are United Nations.
You talking about United Nations Benepo doing Basajama party? You say United Nations. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning. My name is Thomas Sumeri Eba. I am calling you from Nigeria.
Go ahead.
You see, it is clear that the worker is aware that it has taken our territory, that pushes our territory. If the worker has already given it to them. Because according to what we are seeing, the giving attention to that, those people practice and nothing going on. We want to talk about it, say because about it, and so if we just say that Mr. Walker has given that even before, they have to see the image of their corrupt or criminal PDK interference. Because if Mr. Walker who has just trained those people who have then seen the people drama or mirror for the water, they put across the river and can't see that river. They don't keep for land. But Mr. Walker is so shame, he is totally shame.
Okay, thank you very much. The next festival now, GB Festival. The boy, they're making party. They're celebrating party. Why the poor taking the land? Good morning.
Good morning, Abu Shari.
Morning. Go ahead, my brother. One country, two flags.
Yeah, so I've been going to watch the topic. Yeah, Abu, thank you for the topic this morning. I will always appreciate you for your effort. And thanks to Omega Science for not to raise the debt. Abu is so disappointing, to be honest. Government being small inside this government. To say that Labrador being the first African country to have independence. To say that Little Guinea come and take land from you is so disappointing. And like the government is very sure now to go back and tell the people in Solomon, You all need to come back. They land and pop already taking it, we can't get to nothing. But how to go about telling the people? To be honest, the people are taking the land and we can do nothing. Because you see the government sit there, no one is saying nothing, people there celebrating their Pasanyama festival on the other side. You get Joseph there launching party or having other convention for a party. It's disappointing. I just think for the people that are over there, those have already made their farms, those are already established, they are left there, got homes over there, and now they are about to relocate to another place. It's so disappointing. Thank you for the topic on the discussion. I think you go about saying more.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so we're gonna hold it there. Fellow Liberians, this is where our focus ought to be. This is where we ought to be concentrated on. The kind and sort of decision that's taken by the leadership to affect, and protect and preserve the true Liberian identity. And part of that, because we have a land, that's why we have a country. And because we have a country, that's why we have Liberians. So when you take the land away, right, or you resize the land, then you are diminishing our identity. You're reducing our affluence. And you understand? But to do this under compromised canopy and refusing to be open with the truth to the Liberian people, and you think you can demonize a category of the citizens that are demanding accountability in the matter or around the subject, will earn you, a free passage in this conversation. You're dead wrong. We're not going to kowtow into that nonsense. Absolutely not. We're going to remain firm and demanding real answers in this Solomba instance and others that threaten the territorial integrity of our country, because this is the most singular responsibility that any well-meaning government will always act to preserve. Countries remain at war and ensuring that they protect their territories. So to be compromising and, of course, not providing the adequate clarity and information to the people at the same time, still putting us under the impression that we have legit and legitimate claim as we've known it to be, right? And not communicating any new reality that re-inform us about the situations at the border, says that the government is exhibiting negligence of its duty to protecting the territorial integrity of our country, thereby surrendering Liberia's sovereignty to Guinea. This is the conclusion, and of course, this is what that any sound, reasonable evaluator of what is going on at Solomba will definitely come to. And there is no way you can sugarcoat it. And there is no degree of blackmail can erase that fact. There is no degree of censorship can erase that narrative. There is no degree of harassment and intimidation can make us to kowtow into not speaking the truth in the matter. That's what we told you when you're making all that noise and trying to mix the things up, right? This thing is severe than the government is trying to make it to look like. Now, you said you are launching an investigation. It has been 2 weeks. There's no update. It is clear from every indication that all of these situations at Solomba ensued because of an alleged illegal mining activities, and a company was identified. You subjected that company to investigation, and you've brought up no update on it, and our lawmakers are not interested in matters around that company, and they are doing nonsense and being very insensitive to the concerns of these Liberians that are homeless, displaced, stranded, left without food, left with nothing to do. And you think you're supposed to be a lawmaker dignified with respect? We say no. But let's take a break. We come step up, we come back. But we're having some issues with our system here. The sound is not coming out. Trying to get this, but then it's not. If Chris is here, probably he can come with some technical assistance. But so we'll hold it there, right? Until the technical interventions are made. 2023, when we went to the ballots to decide the fate of this country, irrespective of which direction you saw it, which is our constitutionally guaranteed rights to decide and make a choice and make a decision, and nobody must be made to look lesser Liberian because of the choices they made during our democratic period. That should not be the case. And we serve here as voices to continuously give you that courage, that tenacity to believe in yourself and believing that you are who you are because of the Constitution and the right the Constitution gave you. So any action of yours that's within the confine of the law, don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid and do not apologize for it. Any actions and attitude or actions or activities of yours that's within the confines of the Liberian laws, do not apologize to anybody, because that person who you're trying to apologize to hold no superior authority or rights over you. Absolutely not. Right? They enjoy privileges, but those privileges does not make them more Liberian than you are. In fact, if they are rational enough, they should even be serving you. That's what they should be doing. As leaders, they are your they are people who are supposed to be serving you. Right? They are your servant. That's why they should call themselves servant leaders. Right? We're not in the age of monarchy. This is not a monarchical arrangement or establishment. Right? This is a democratic governance space. And you understand? And the laws are developed or designed for and on behalf of the people to meet the desires of the people. So when we made a decision in 2023, a lot of us to prefer change over incumbency, meaning preferring Unity Party over the CDC that was opting for continuity, that was an indication to the world that we were dissatisfied as a country with the level at which the CDC was running the country. So we demonstrated the desire for more, which we interpret as becoming better than what we were. From one institution to the other, from one agency to the other, from one commission to the other, situations of leadership, administration, governance, deliverables, projects, and programs ought to be better than what they were, because Liberian people demonstrated in 2023 that we wanted more. And when situations of individually evaluating the effect of those change or the change that was made in 2023 at different level, is these conversations stem from a nationalistic point of view, where beyond the politics of us versus them, we ought to look at what is happening with our national or our state infrastructure, our state institutions. Because guess what? Beyond the politics, beyond the sides that we support or the ideas that we align with, right? We all are desirous of benefiting from a more improved and more efficient service deliverable organization and institutions of government. For example, on the matter of the Ministry of Transport ensued, right? We may not have been at political and left with the folks at the Ministry of Transport, right? Judging by 2023, as a lot of them were opposed. But again, when something threatens the viability and, of course, the functions of the Ministry of Transport, irrespective of who are the beneficiaries, we ought to stand for the right things. Having said that, a conversation about the Liberia Airport Authority ensued for the past week or two, whereby the board right, the LAA board issued or wrote a communication to the president's office, to the office of the President of the Republic of Liberia, in which they leveled several allegations and accusations against the management, the managing director to be specific, accusing him in a what? In a 16-count resolution. Is it 16 or how many? Right? Making several allegations, leveling several allegations against the management. And that became concerning because we did not want, like our previous, after 2023, that we'll have an airport that becomes worse than what it was previously, where allegations of mass looting will be going on. Right? Among some of the allegations that were levied had to do with a renovation contract that was awarded to a company named Global Group of Companies as the prime contractor at a cost of $64,000 per unit for basic work such as roofing, painting, and minor bathroom and kitchen repairs. So according to the board chair, the board chair complained the MD to the president that money was whooping. Say he did his own evaluation from expert. The expert say all that thing the people won't do for $64,000, it could be done for $10,000. Because mind you now, we've all not seen physically, right, the units are supposed to be renovated and how they're supposed to be renovated too, taking into consideration the different material costs and all of that. He said $10,000. So indicating to the president that the management of the LAA were intending to steal $54,000 on each unit, assuming it was 5 units, 10 units, 15 units, so $54,000. It sounds very big. It sounds very alarming. So we became concerned. Why would anybody want to do that? According to concerns raised by the board, the LAA board. And the chairman of the board is one Mr. Yan Martin. He's a Unity Party guy. And instead of an immediate audit by the General Auditing Commission and a full investigation by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the board chair also alleged that because the MD does not want audit to happen in all of that, so he quietly granted and asked the president for a leave of absence. and referred to the Ministry of Justice, an institution directly under the control of the executive. So we became interested. We went in. Tell me what is going on. The whole rescue team, what is their declining thing? We don't even understand. Yeah, for them. We only understand because no way any group of people will sit and say 54 million benefit, 54 million, and, and inflating costs and setting salary by himself, and also made allegations of hiring a chief of office staff and setting the salary and all of that. So we use both sources. Where the board chair sent a communication, we went there. The office of the president. Some of you can be wondering, well, how Abune can manage? They want a part of our job now. When you carpenter, you know how to put a nail in all the corners, right? So it's part of our job. Our information we live in back, so we know how to get it. So a document that's that is still there, that was sent to the president in response and as part of investigation around this matter, has surfaced on our decks, and we thought to bring you it as it is, revealing. Because others may want to interpret these conversations in ways that will best suit themselves. Sometimes it's designed to undermine and undercut and divert the public attention from the real issues. We're not interested. We're not moved by that. So it says March 20, 2026 was when this response was issued. And let me see if I can get from the other document here, because we have the both documents here. If I can get this on when the board chair send their own communication. Okay. Okay. I'll try to get that. His Excellency Joseph Nima Boaka, Senior President, Republic of Liberia, reference response to concerns from LAA Board of Director Chairperson Honorable Yan Martin regarding LAA's MD Ernest Hodges' performance inefficiency. And for the record, I do not even know any of these individuals. But the allegations were so alarming and overwhelming. The 4,000, you know what I mean? What I said, people who say they came for change, then somebody taking $4,000 for something that 10,000 can do. Somebody chopping 54,000 and you count it across a different unit. No. So the cover letter is here. But I just wanted us to go straight into the responses. But let's run you through quickly. Say, I present my compliment and I am writing in response to the recent letter submitted by the chairperson of the Liberia Airport Authority to your esteemed office, which contains a series of allegations against my leadership as managing director. I wish to categorically refute these claims, which I believe to be inaccurate, misleading, and malicious in nature. So he wrote his boss, the both of them boss, to tell him that, Chief, everything that Yan Martin sent to you are inaccurate, fallacious, misleading, and of course, maliciously intended to undermine whatever work we are doing at the airport. It is important to note that these criticisms stem from a small faction within the board of directors whose members have repeatedly demonstrated an interest in assuming senior leadership roles beyond their remit. You get the point? So Yan Martin says the people the president appointed to the airport, they're doing nothing there. Like corruption, they're doing the stealing, they violating the law, they're respecting the board. The managing director says, Mr. President, that thing you put in your communication, that blatant lie, they're all designed. And the lie is coming from a small fraction from within the board. A few of them. And these few of them, fellow Liberians, our investigation have uncovered, are hardcore unity partisan and old folks. Right? One is the head of the LCAA, Civil Aviation Authority, right? And Yan Martin, and a few other, I think 4 in numbers, 3, 4 hardcore people, some of whom have been within the LAA system before now. They worked there for many, many years before now, right? They know the system, and they have operated in the system in a certain way, and they want this to continue, and they will want for any management team at the airport to work at the whims and caprice and dictate of their desires. Anything on the contrary, they're able to rally these partisan forces, right, and deliver a compelling rebuke of whoever the manager, and that their political godfather will take an action and remove the person. And they're precedent to this. And this is further bringing into question the attitude of the different boards of directors that President Boubacar has been constituting since he became president. The degree of authority that they've demanded, and in some instances, how they have deviated from their oversight functions to wearing a desire for a more practical administrative role in these institutions. One such is the Freeport of Monrovia, where the political leader, the party chairman, of the Unity Party serves on the board, and of course has a day-to-day running office in the port, when they should be working by what? Installment, right? They get, say, by annual, sometimes 3 times in a year, or emergency sitting. No. But under Mr. Boubacar, the board he constitutes, primarily of his friends and his, acquaintance, they will rather want an administrative role. They want office right in the place. They won't sit down there and be part of the day-to-day. When you send for water, you must carry it to them the CA, then the OKA. When somebody apply and you hiring the person, you must send the person's CV to the office. When they finish going through the person's CV, you want to employ the person must go, they must know the person. This, that. Should that be the role of board of directors? So the man say, these people, they want to technically usurp our functions, because repeatedly they've demonstrated an interest in assuming senior leadership roles beyond their remit, beyond their oversight function as board of directors. They won't be in the active running of the institution. So because we are here, we're not permitting that. So they're leveraging their political party connections, right, to concoct and believing that they have the power, the connection to get us out. The same way the folks were able to successfully remove the lady from NOCA, right? When the board constituted there were changing and resetting, right, board fees and the number of times boards are supposed to meet, and even taking office in the place. This is unprecedented. It is a culture given rise to by a desire to be corrupt and compromised. And it's important. Why it's true that we are alarmed by reports of corruptions, right, that must be investigated, audited. But at the same time, we must all begin to ask, why are these board of directors interested in sitting in the institutions and making day-to-day financial decisions? Their frustrations at being unable to overstep the boundaries of their authority has resulted in attempts to discredit my administration through baseless allegations. Hodges says, because we are not allowing them to come sit down here and be a part of day-to-day administrative work and, of course, influencing the running of the airport at the managerial level, not at the oversight, right, supervisory level, no. But they want beyond that. They won't sit down here. When you buy, and one remote sheet, they must know. When you buy this, they must see it, right? And they must dictate, or they must say which company you must buy the remote sheet from. So because we're not doing that, so they have orchestrated and decided, right, to discredit the administration based on allegations that are unfounded according to the manager's letter to the president. Such actions do not reflect the collective view of the board. He believes the management is still telling the president that, Mr. President, that letter you get, it is not the reflection of the entire board or the broader LAA workforce. No, it is an organized cartel that put that together, headed by Yan Martin, who wants to be MD de facto, who believes that because he is more unity partisan than any other person, so this is their government, and he must enjoy beyond imaginable, leverage. Such actions do not reflect the collective view of the board or the broader LA workforce, but rather serve the interests of a minority seeking personal advancement. And this is troubling. This brings to question the credibility and integrity of Yan and his cohorts. If boards are supposed to be people of repute, people of high esteem, people of integrity, right, who will be developing these kinds of demonic and devilish satanic and actions to undercut reformist activities simply because they want more for themselves, is troubling. So where is the rescue? As the old folks are the engineer of malfeasance and malpractices in areas where they've been trusted to provide oversight, guardianship. I say no. To be waiting for after every 3 months before we go meet and then the girl setting fee, no. To ensure a fair and comprehensive understanding of the situation at LAA, I respectfully request that Your Excellency seek input not only from all members of the board. So the MD is saying, Mr. President, and I mean to put the allegation on. I agree. So, Mr. President, I beg you, for you to be sure that what I'm telling you, that these people desire is not to be criminal and corrupt and can't sit down here and take money for themselves when they actually supposed to be providing supervision, but they're leaving their job, they can't do our job, and they're demanding kickbacks on issues that we are not permitting, and they're angry. They've designed this to undermine and get off from here, right? Please, in your attempt to seek information, Mr. President, you should seek input not only from the members and select member of the board, but get all the other board members to come and testify to you on these counts. Where they say, oh, I can't consult board, I can't do that, I can't do that, right? Just ask everybody. Say you know the truth, Mr. President. Their letter is before the president, has been before the president sent the 20th of March. Right? And not only there, even you should go as far as representative samples of LAA employees. Talk to even employees to indicate to you that these allegations are frivolous, Mr. President. I am willing that you talk to the layman, and what you will gather from these should constitute your final decision. Right? Should constitute your final decision, Mr. President. Now, let's come to the point by point. What Yan Martin said, or what the president versus what the response the MD has submitted. And you understand? So can one response of the MD to can one where Yan accused or alleges unlawful actions when Yan Martin alleges unlawful actions and poor management practices. So he says, on can one where he say our management here is unlawful, we are taking unlawful actions and poorly managing. Mr. President, on the first day in office, the unilateral dismissal of senior leadership at the Liberia Airport Authority was carried out based on suspicions of financial impropriety and allegations of involvement in financial cartel at the LAA. So the MD said the reason why on the first day he entered that place, he decided to dismiss or rotate people was because of information he got about some of those elements' involvement in a cartel of financial impropriety and whooping allegations of involvement in financial misdealing. Without the requisite board approval, according to this man, according to Yana, he said, without the requisite board approval or supporting evidence, the previous leaders and the newly appointed managing director team are reportedly receiving double compensation, resulting in increased payroll expense. The man say the management dismissed the people without board approval, and they inflated people's salaries without board approval. So the man came, listen to Hodges' response to that allegations. Hodges says, I write to formally address one of the allegations presented by chairpersons of the Liberia Airport Authority. I categorically affirm that no senior leaders at the LAA were dismissed due to suspicion of financial impropriety or alleged involvement in any financial cartel. So the man tell the presidency that that narrative was concocted and is untrue. So he came to provide the actual picture. He said on November 19, 2025, certain senior leaders in critical roles were reassigned. He said what we did, we reassigned people. We did not dismiss or remove people. Right? We reassign, not remove, to preserve essential records and facilitate an impartial forensic audit. So we reassign people to preserve so that people will not take information leveraging the authority. So because an audit was coming, we reassign people, shift people around, and then I have the audit report here also. I have the audit report from the General Auditing Commission. Right? There's the audit report. So that's how people were reassigned. But Yan and his cohorts did not like that. So they framed that to me outright arbitrary dismissals. So this reshuffle was necessary to ensure the integrity of the LAA financial procurement and human resource documentation and was conducted in response to concerns about the potential compromise of key leaders in finance, procurement, and human resource. So because they had intelligence that people are compromised, so what they could do to allow the other report to be done, right, was to reassign people. So you're not in your comfort zone anymore where you maybe take information or refuse to give certain information. you are reassigned. So just dismantle the whole thing. Then the order go ahead. At this time, there have been no prior interaction with the board regarding these concerns, which prompted urgent action to safeguard organizational interest. A subsequent board meeting was convened on November 28, 2025, where the reshuffle was duly discussed. So, according to Hodges, part of their issue to safeguard the integrity of the audit, they did the reshuffle, right? Because if you are going to tell the board, say, because they already have the intelligence, to tell the board, say, oh, we want you to approve the decision, we want to. So management decided in their wisdom to carry out a reshuffle. So on the 28th, when they met, they presented that action that was taken to seek the board deliberation, and the board deliberated on the matter, on the necessity and timing of the reassignments, and formally, according to the MD, on the 28th, the board meeting on the 28th, right? The board formally approved the action that was taken on the 19th of November 2025. The November 2028 board meeting minutes is available. These deliberations can be attested to by the corporate scribe and board members in attendance at the meeting. Additionally, the board resolved to commission a forensic audit. When the board approved that reassignment, that Yan Martin has communicated to the president that it was a dismissal, in the very board meeting, they approved it and the minutes available. So what do you think? So we are supposed to sit down here for certain elements to think that they can use the media, right, at their personal benefit. Promoting this whole nonsense about partisanship over professionalism. Because if we allow that to happen, then it will make it difficult for a government of inclusion. And we are saying that Liberia has experts everywhere. We must run a government of inclusion. Allegations too on unauthorized recruitment and hiring in finance. Right? Yan said in this allegation, he said 2 of the allegations regarding the recruitment and hiring of a full financial team without board review and approval that, to clarify, during the day 1 transition on November 19, 2025, only 2 senior managers, 2, a chief financial officer and a financial controller were appointed in finance. So only 2. Right? These appointments were necessary to ensure operational continuity and safeguard financial records following the reassignment of previous incumbents in critical areas. Based on the action that was taken in November 19, 2025, it created the need for recruitment of 2 officers in the finance department. Chief financial officer and a controller. These were the only 2 that they hired. He said, subsequently appraised of these appointments and formally granted retroactive approval. So the board subsequently appraised the appointment of these 2 individuals and grant approval during its meeting on November 28, 2025. So how come Yan comes back and say that these actions were taken without the acquiescence of the board? This sequence of events underscores that the recruitment actions were both prudent and transparent. It is important to distinguish between operational management and board governance. Senior leadership holds the authority to recruit and appoint employees to maintain effective operation, while board notification remains a best practice for oversight and good governance. Right? However, the board should avoid assuming direct operational responsibilities such as recruitment, which remain within the purview of management. So, Mr. President, the board chair won't be the one to recruit. The board chair won't be the one to decide who become controller, who become chief financial officer. And we are saying no. Those are the argument. Can 3 on consultancy, blah, blah, blah. But let's come to the 15%. That was the mean one. Safety consulting. Right? Derek Neuville. Say, Mr. President, Mr. Neuville was initially engaged as an independent consultant. No, I'm not sure this is the one I am looking for. The consultancy thing, and those that were hired for consultancy, it's important for you to know, right? They hired a security consultant officer from the Liberia National Police, blah, blah, procurement process and compensation determination. Allegation number 4, unilateral creation of chief of staff outside of approved organogram and unilateral determination of US 5K monthly compensation, blah, blah. The management responded to say that that is precedent. It has been the case there. So we need to talk to PASS. Okay. So Interkent, that is the most important one. And that is the one that also draw a lot of attention. Wherein the board chairman said that the manager was demanding 15% from a foreign company before paying. The manager was demanding 15% before paying the people money, which was a terrible action. People carry out work, and that for the government of Liberia to pay them, then you say now as manager, you say before you approve, that company must pay 15%. They must guarantee you 15% in kickback. So the board chair raised that. And we all felt it was concerning. But now the MD says, no. Hodges says to the president, Your Excellency, with reference to Can 5 of the chairperson's letter addressed to you, I wish to categorically address the allegations concerning Interkent's contractor fees and purported requests for kickbacks. As managing director of the Liberia Airport Authority, I unequivocally deny any involvement in unlawful conduct, corruption, or bribery related to the Interkent project or any other matter within the authority. Now, the board chair made the allegations without producing any evidence to us. But based on the fact that he's the board chair and he wrote and documented these allegations and submitted them to the president for action, right? I have consistently upheld the highest ethical, that's according to Hodges. So I have consistently upheld the highest ethical standard and integrity in all professional dealings. I am fully prepared to cooperate with any independent investigation or subject myself to a lie detector test to demonstrate my innocence and transparency in this matter. Such scrutiny will confirm my unwavering commitment to honest and principled leadership. Okay. Let me tell you, Mr. President, this allegation about 15% kickback is false and malicious. To tell you that, I believe it when I tell you that it's false and malicious. I am willing to subject myself to independent investigation. That's what we're saying, Mr. President. These matters should be subjected to independent, impartial, non-partisan investigations. And we'd like to know the actual criminal in this matter, whether it's Hodges or it's Yan Martin. It's important. The country needs to know the fact. Because this culture of bad morphine and coming out and being the first to speak loudly sometimes and then the gullibility of the society. We all run with it. At the end of the day, we come back, right? We saw the same thing with NAFA, right? When the latest repetition was being dragged in the mud, right? And Singbe Johnson then lied and concocted stories about the woman, saying he got there, the whole fishery thing just going down, passing around. No hey, no tay. A sector that was booming, right? A sector that was booming and had a prosperous future. They undermine based on the same deliberate concoction of lies, only to get investigated subsequently and proved to be a deliberate lie. But at which time the president has been coerced and arm twisted to taking administrative actions. NOCA, NAFA, Ami Moda at Commerce. Today, you remove the man in a car thing that they throw around when every other person is taking the same car. Only to realize subsequently because Ami Moda was firmly against the Metex thing that some family member and close people within the president cycle were, so they use their proximity to power, and Ami had to be embarrassed to resign. The delay in processing Interkin's contractor fees. So apparently there was delay notice in the payment. So that delay is what, according to Hodges, that Nya and others decided to hang on to say the delay was happening because Hodges was demanding 15% kickback, and when the people ain't give it, then you're not something. So in an effort to put pressure and say, oh, the man won't kick back. Then the man said, no, I did not demand or request kickback. The delay in processing Interkin's contractor fees was not arbitrary, but rather grounded in a comprehensive assessment report. Man say the reference of that report is on C5-1, submitted to the LAA board by an independent consultant. An independent consultant did a comprehensive assessment report of the contract and submitted reports to the board. This report highlighted substantial issues regarding project deliverables, performance, and compliance, warranting further review before any payments could be authorized. So the contractor came to do the work, and then we hire an independent consultant to do project evaluation. The evaluation report of the project indicated issues of deliverables and, project deliverable performance and compliance. So now, as management, we needed, before making full payment, to do a further review before we can sanction any payment. That was the hold on. But elements who want to benefit from behind the scene care less as to whether the country should go and do due diligence to ensure that what we're paying for, we're getting value for money. Just pay the people. So whether the people did it well, good, and do it good, just pay the people. So because there was delay in payment informed by a compliance and report done by an independent consultant, they said no. So if you need pay independent consultant to go and do something, they bring that report. So we say, let's review the report. He said no, pay. Just pay the people. So then what are the essence of hiring a consultant? Now, the board subsequently conducted a site visit to validate these findings. Board members, after the site visit, gained appreciation and understanding of the issues and were aligned that a delayed payment was warranted. Board members went there, they themselves, they saw it for themselves, they came out and say, oh yes, the delay was warranted. It's important. Let's do due diligence. Additionally, preliminary results stemming from a commission forensic audit, raised additional discrepancies and concerns about the procurement processes or practices associated with the Interkin project. Right? The very project has audit issues, but then the board chair say, pay the people. The manager say, we're delaying the payment, subjecting it to review to certify before we know what kind of money we can pay with all the issues that are coming. Assurance work relating to Intercan is ongoing. Assurance. With further investigation and review scheduled to ensure full transparency and accountability. It is important to note that certain stakeholders have advocated for expedited payments. Certain elements like Nyan are asking, in spite of all these due diligence process, say expedite the people payment. So when you pay the people now, then the evaluation result come. So what you do, you go back and take the money from the people. So despite the absence of deliverables that meet contractual and regulatory standards, despite the absence of that, they are demanding that the people payment should be expedited. As managing director, I have prioritized due diligence and protection of the authorities' interests, ensuring the payments are contingent upon verified performance. I thought this is what a rescue government should be opting for. I thought this is what the board, as a regulatory supervisor, right, an oversight provider, should be pushing for and be telling management, don't pay the money. So instead of management being in here to pay the money, the management is the one saying, let me wait for the review. But the board that's supposed to be showing oversight is saying, pay the money, expedite the payment. Why other check? There is an audit report that raised issue. On the housing, another grave one, and then we can take your concerns. In reference to count 6 of the chairperson's letter addressed to you, Mr. President, I wish to clarify the circumstances regarding the request for relocation of technical staff from LAA residential property. The management's actions were guarded strictly by Liberia Airport Authority's approved housing policy reference C61, which was sanctioned by the Board of Directors on December 30, 2025. Additionally, the directive to desist from requesting 6 employees illegally squatting, right? So there are 6 employees illegally squatting in senior leadership units was not a board approved or sanctioned agreement. Rather, this directive came directly from the board chair. So the board chair is the one impeding the removal of 6 individuals occupying senior management units at the housing and the airport housing facilities, and he's been the one giving them the reason to disrespect the management and not wanting to leave. It's confusing that to me, the board decision. Say, no, that is not true. Consequently, the directive did not constitute a board's decision or mandate. A reverse housing policy was developed to address long-standing issues with previous ad hoc allocations that lack formal mandate or transparent criteria. The current policy establishes a structured framework for assigning LAA-owned housing based on 3 distinct employee tiers: senior managers, and other employees essential to authority operation. This revision was necessary to ensure all assignments are equitable, standardized, and aligned with organizational need. Implementation of the policy is overseen by a housing committee which operates independently and does not include the managing director. The committee advised a phased renovation and assignment plan to ensure all residential units meet operational requirements. Execution began with senior managers and employees occupying units not designated for their tier were asked to temporarily relocate elsewhere to facilitate necessary renovation and compliance with the new structure. It is important to note, upon completion, the policy guarantees that all operationally essential employees will be accommodated. It is also important to note that the policy delineates that housing may be provided and assigned to LAA employees for work purposes and the operational need of the airport, and employees are expected to maintain a permanent home outside of the airport for personal purposes. At present, some critical staff are required to commute to work while certain residential units remain occupied by individuals not authorized under the new policy. Of the 22 units reserved for senior leadership, only 6 remain unavailable. And those are the 6 that are occupied by people whose tiers are not covered by the new housing regulation. So, Mr. President, the opportunity is before you to tell us in this rescue government what you intend to do. How do you intend to navigate between the day-to-day management of public institutions, SMEs, and commissions, and of course, state-owned enterprises, SOEs, and commissions, and of course, the different boards that you constitute. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104. And Mr. Martin is free to bring and submit his own evidence. But with what's available to us now, it's indicative of a deeper issues there at the airport beyond just wild allegations against the management. Accountability questions are also have to be directed at the board chair, as our investigation has established primarily that most of the issues raised are issues not being fully agreed to by the board in its entirety. So now, what is granting or giving the leverage to all these support operations or assumptions of authority by different board chairs and board directors? And the singular reasons for that is partisanship. And besides, right, at the airport authority, there is a reform that has to happen, because I'm also told that, mind you now, the LCAA, the head of the LCAA is also a member on the board. Right? A regulator is also a player on the board. That is a historical country issue that needs to be reviewed and corrected in ways that meets best practices. I know a lot of you have not followed, but we'll keep following, because sometimes the actual criminals are disguised. So when we're able to reveal the identity of the actual criminals, or people who believe that they can micromanage state infrastructure to their personal benefits, right? And then creating a stir in the public that clearly is designed to divert attention. Why in the midst of this, the man who is issuing a vote of no confidence in the management, the same man is calling an emergency board meeting just last week. For no reason, absolutely. Salif Tala was there. Yan Martin was there. The LCA men were there, and other board officials. They all attended. But they are the same people that are rating vote of no confidence, Mr. President, in the management. How you go back and sit down there and collect emergency board sitting fees? Hodges can have or could have all of his excesses, that which we will talk about. But equally so, right, we must not be part of the attempt by Unity Party radicals. Unity Party radicals to try to engineer and orchestrate a scheme whereby they will siphon and criminally shield corruptions for themselves, believing that because it is their party in power, and that they can just go ahead and manipulate and micromanage anything. It is absolutely unacceptable, and we're not going to settle for it. So the ball in this instant case is before the president. And the reason we are taking this posture, because several boards have taken decisions, and these decisions subsequently, when they get investigated, they turn out on the contrary. Today, what happens with the lady from Nuka? Who cares to give her justice? Today, what happened with the doctor from Enfield? Who cares to give justice? The court has ruled, right? Nobody is doing anything. So people will just manipulate the system, and then they'll come out with issues, and then they pull it out, and then people are wrongfully dismissed, illegally removed from their positions, and their characters assassinated, and nothing happened. And this is because of the Super Bowl of directors that the president continued to constitute across the different entities. It is time for the president to review the constitution of the different boards he set up. The same board at Enfield accused Dr. Yan and removed the man, and recommended the man remove it. The president removed the man. The man goes to court, challenge it, and it turned out that everything they said were lies. So you don't think we should question Yan Martin, and that it's possible that Yan Martin allegations could turn out to be malicious and deceitful? The same board at NAFA, the same board at NOCA. Mr. President, you need to review your boards. That's what we have to say. Time is not in our interest. Time is up. We'll be here tomorrow for part 2. I'm told the president is supposed to be acting shortly. Today is the 30th of March. Whatever is the outcome of the president's decision, that's within his purview, but at the end of the day, these things must be investigated. If the managing director is making references to documents and meetings in which decisions were being approved by the board, for the board chair to go ahead and act innocent and write another communication to the president denying, this is lying under oath. That alone render him unfit, irresponsible to lead and head that board. He must be made to step aside, irrespective of his party affiliations and his connections. That's what we think. This is the Freedom Morning Rise, and of course, this is how we like to bring the curtains down on today's presentation. It has been a great interaction with you. Many thanks to all of you who call in. I'm sorry we can't take calls now. Tomorrow we'll do part 2, and of course, open the phone lines for your own reactions to the situation there, comparatively looking at what has happened in other places, and see what happens and what call we can make to the president's office. My name is Abu Sharif. Until I see you tomorrow, do have yourself a wonderful time. Bye-bye.